Hey, so I'm making a video now. I'm making a video just to simplify things. But I'm thinking about Agora's flywheel. You know, what is, I don't like this word, but investors and people with money like this word. What is our competitive advantage? And competitive advantage, I think that competitive advantages are just flywheel effects. So what is the flywheel effect of Agora? What is the flywheel effect of Tesla? Tesla is very simple. They have customers. They use customers. Customers buy their products. They build more manufacturing plants, and that's it. There's only people and plants. Actually, no. There's three things. There's employees, because they need to scale with employees. There's also manufacturing plants. Every time someone buys a car from Tesla, they're just building another factory. And so with this, they're able to increase. Oh no, actually, essentially they have one very big factory. Then that leads to customers. Customers lead to more factories, which drops down the price of a Tesla, which allows for more factories to be built, which allow for more customers to come in, which allow for more factories to come in. And so this essentially, Elon has discovered a very efficient algorithm, search algorithm, because I think that every problem in the world, every problem that we could have is a search algorithm. Elon found a search algorithm that would allow him to achieve economies of scale very, very quickly. Build manufacturing plants, drop prices down, volume. And then that drives the price down as well, but it also leads to a lot more revenue, a lot more cash flow, and if they optimize it nice, a lot of profit. So now the big question is, what is Agora's flywheel? And so I think it's a three-step process. The first step is open source developers, AI developers. Then these developers create models, reliable models, and infrastructure. So like Cosmos X and Andromeda could be an example. Models that can do like new things never done before, and infrastructure like Ocean, the world's, I think, one of the world's first multimodality native vector embedding databases. And so that we have developers. They help build reliable models and infrastructure. Then these reliable models and infrastructure, then we can transform this into a customer experience. And so we can monetize our reliable models and infrastructure through a couple of different ways. We have the domain. The domain is a conversational platform for multimodality companions. So an enterprise could pay a subscription and or performance-based fee. So if, let's say, Cosmos X helps Tesla accelerate robotic workflows by 15%, we would take 10% of that we would take an extra 10% fee off of that. And so we do charge a subscription, performance fee, or we could also sign enterprise deals, consulting deals. And since we have a pool of open source developers, we can have freelancers. And so we can have freelancers that can help onboard our customers, our enterprise customers, using Cosmos X and some of the other infrastructure. And I think that could be a very, very that can be not only profitable for our customers, but that could also be profitable for us. Kind of like how McKinsey, it kind of like opens a freelancer developer of consultants. So like kind of how like McKinsey has a lot of consultants, you know, and so we could do that. We could like allow a contributor who's been contributing X amount of times. He's really devoted about what Agora is doing. He could help he can help onboard new customers. And so that way, not only is the developer, the contributor, getting paid, but our customers are getting onboarded, and Agora is extremely efficient and hyper efficient. And so the next step would be API. So when we deploy our models, we're going to deploy them as paid APIs. Well, we're first going to deploy everything open source, okay? We'll deploy everything open source, and this leads to more. If we deploy models open source, that'll lead us to more open source developers, as it did with Llama and Facebook. So once we deploy reliable models, and we have reliable models, and we've trained them, we have the infrastructure, what happens is we can actually deploy our new products and services, and we can start generating revenue. Now, when we generate revenue, something very interesting happens. When we generate revenue, now we could redistribute that revenue back to our developers. And so once we do that, no longer are we just confined to a set employee limit like OpenAI, but now with the Agora, Agora is like a swarm of enterprises. You are the enterprise in Agora, and so we're essentially creating like a swarm of CEOs. So like every developer could be like a CEO, and Agora is kind of like Agora is like the layer of infrastructure that helps everybody succeed in whatever they want to do, business, life. Yeah. So our flywheel is simple. We have open source developers. We release open source models. If we release open source models that are good, we get more developers. After we release open source models, we deploy those models and infrastructure as a paid customer experience through domain, enterprise deal, APIs, and so on. Then we generate revenue. We redistribute revenue, and we redistribute revenue back to the developers, and then we make and then we can still train more models and keep the flywheel going. And then this way, not only are we not spending, or we're not spending much resources, but we're not. Agora is not a very expensive, heavy organization to run. The biggest expense would be actually maintaining the infrastructure and the computational clusters needed to actually train the models and build the infrastructure and iterate quickly. Because this flywheel can only take root. We can only see the fruit of this flywheel effect if it's continuously growing and there's grease coming into the system, and just propelling it and gaining momentum day and night. But for Agora to really work, the people are everything. The people have always been everything, but now most especially they are everything. How can we get more people to join the community? We can make educational resources, videos, blogs, books, world class, that actually teach people how to become AIs, developers and researchers and engineers. Because if you really think about it, the only limit I saw in a book about systems theory, and I saw in a book about systems theory, it's an amazing book, says that the limit of an industry, or let's say like let's say that the limit of a manufacturing industry is limited by how many people can operate the machines and how many machines there are, and how much stuff there is. So the same thing applies here. We're fundamentally limited by how many people are in Agora at any point in time. So how can we make that higher? We can make educational resources. We could implement models, and we could implement models, open source models. We could train them, release them open source. If we give things out for free, I think that's probably one of the best ways to encourage people to join our group. We release models for free. We implement things, educational resources. We make videos. We show people how to do things, and some other ways. Then we could really get things going if we had a lot more people contributing, and actually optimizing our models and infrastructure. Then our customers will get a better experience. If our customers get a better experience, if they get an experience at all, well, then we can generate money and then redistribute that money back to our developers. And so we're creating kind of like a new institution, kind of how like academia has their own thing, and jobs and economic industry has their own thing. We're kind of creating like a both. We're creating we're creating a new type of institution, where now anybody can contribute, and now anybody can make. Hopefully, we'll be able to make unbelievable amounts of money. You contribute code, data sets, or just anything at all to Agora, you're gonna make money. We're an open source community, but unfortunately, we have to still abide by economics for the short time being. Even though at some point our objective is to make everything infinitely abundant with these AI models, and for that to happen, we need a lot of manufacturing plants, and those manufacturing plants need to be run by AIs. Those AIs need to mine and harvest and put the universe's resources to use. We essentially need three things. We need AIs. AIs are only people. We need people. We need materials, and we need energy. We need three things: people, energy, materials. We need people to shape the materials using energy. Wow. Okay. So this is a plan. This is a plan. Yeah, we need a lot of people. We need a lot of models. We need a great, fucking fantastic customer experience. I want people calling me, Dan. You know you have a great business when if someone your customers call you in the middle of the night and tell you how much they love you. That I think that is definitely where we need to. That's where we need to be. We need to completely break the illusion people have on society and their enterprise, and they think they have these barriers, these obstacles that cannot be overcome, and they can be overcome, and we're supposed to show them how they can be overcome. And the way that they can be overcome is by integrating multimodality models into their organization. So this, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the flywheel that's going to break the loop. It's finally going to break the loop of death, misery, pain, and suffering that we as humans have been in for a long time. The entire time we've been here, we've been dying. We've needed resources. We fight each other for resources. I think fundamentally this is going to end very quickly, very, very soon, very soon, unbelievably soon. It's only a matter of what is the least amount of computational energy needed to reach the global minimum of just search algorithms, because like I said, everything is a search problem. So now we just need to find the best search algorithm, and then we need to deploy this search algorithm. Kind of how like AlphaDev found a faster sorting sequence. So that sorting sequence is much faster than the one that was being used before. Now it's being used in all C++ programs and all of C++. And so I definitely think that the world could be unimaginably abundant, even without external resources from space, if and only if we find very, very efficient, the most theoretical efficient search algorithms for tasks: infrastructure, agriculture, satellite imaging, managing AI agents, running corporations, enterprises, manufacturing GPUs. We're going to need an unbelievable amount of GPUs. Wow, I can't. Yeah, we're going to need a lot more, millions, probably even billions. If there are not more GPUs than cars, we're doing something very fucked. We're not doing something right. We definitely need like many more GPUs. But I actually saw AMD's flywheel the other day, and so they in the beginning, whenever they release a product, they just increase profits. They want their margins to go up so they can manufacture them, so they can manufacture more of them, and then if they manufacture more of them, they have more customers, and that they invest that money in an R&D, which allows for very expensive, low volume new products and services. Then that profit and cash flow creates more manufacturing plants, which creates more products and services, which they can then reinvest back into research and development, which creates more products and services. Everything is a flywheel. I think you, yeah. So we're gonna have to break that. It should be like, they should be cheap at all times. I don't necessarily think that. I think that the GPU manufacturers just need to be searching for the right search algorithms. They need to be searching what are the fastest, what is the shortest amount of time it takes to manufacture an A100, and how could that be cut in half? If that could be cut in half, I mean, there's a set amount of communicational in the time it takes to manufacture an A100. The biggest time-consuming components is the people and the machines. The communication between them has to be at its theoretical minimum. There should be no humans. Ideally there should be no humans involved with actually assembling the A100s. There should be, if they're faster than robotic assemblers. Yeah, I definitely think that we need to cut the time it takes. We need to cut the time and energy it takes to manufacture an A100 down in half, or even more than that. GPUs are like energy for AIs, so that they're going to be a very, very monumental component and fulfilling that flywheel right there. Let me show it to you one last time. I think this is probably if it works, if Agora does become the world's first mega corporation with like $10 trillion in revenue, and like we have like 500,000 or actually millions of employees or freelancers, but whatever you want to call them. Hopefully, if this allows us to reach that point where we have a lot of money, a lot of people, and we're actually making change in the world, I think this could be, hopefully it should be, not now, maybe with a lot more optimizations and a lot more efficient search algorithms, the best, most efficient flywheel in the world. Even better than Amazon's, which is very good. Very, very good. Yeah. Well, this has been long, 18 minutes. Wow. Okay. 18 minutes long. That's a long time. Yeah, the time in between seconds is like a billion years. So it's time to get back to work. Please share Agora with your friends, family, your enemies, anybody who's human, or even animals. Tell all the humans you know and tell all the animals you know, come and join us. We're doing great things around here, and we're trying to help advance humanity to the point where we don't die, we don't need to eat food, we don't need resources, we don't need a home, we don't need to work, otherwise we go homeless and die. We're trying to create a post-scarcity civilization. That is our objective at Agora. Thanks for your time.